How do you reopen a show when you got Kevin Skulchek next to you? 1690 WJGP Wolverine Radio, the weekly checkup with Kevin Skulchek, live from Dean's Corner, the corner of Main Street and Ashland Street, in beautiful, vivacious Jewett City, Connecticut, right across from, of course, Dr. Joel Zuckerbrand. I can see his office. He'll be here later. He
At
always
some point
comes
he's
in.
walking in. He'll see his way over here. Get it?
Yeah.
He'll see his way over here.
But
I get it.
Wow. Kevin Skulchek has announced a new stand-up comedy routine, live at the Improv with Kevin Skulchek.
Now I'll be at the French Club.
Why am I not surprised?
All right. All gets done, Mike.
So anyway, you, Mr. Flowers has some questions or has some comments.
Yeah, great. Fire away.
Okay, Kevin, I brought this up at town meetings before. I brought it up to public health and safety. How is it looking for the town of Griswold for getting a resident trooper?
Well, it's a good question. And so, one thing I came out in a campaign, and what we talked about during the campaign was, at least I thought was a good conversation, was expanding that resident trooper program. And when I say expanding, as most of us or everyone should know, the borough of Jewett City, within the town of Griswold, the community of Griswold, which I call it, has a resident trooper program. In that 1 square mile, the 2 resident troopers work and do not go out into the town for coverage. I think it's now appropriate and time that we look as a community to how we expand and bring either a resident trooper program in, shared with the borough, or maybe an SRO program, school resource officer, part-time or half the year on the town side. It's important that we look at that as the next level, and I want to find that opportunity. Now it comes down to finding funding, and so I can tell you, as we finish the budget this year, there has not been a budget line item put together for that, Phil. But what we can do is explore the options. We are in conversation with the state police discussing a possible future here in town, and we will make sure that the Public Safety Committee, as well as the people, will be a part of that conversation, because we need to have that feedback.
Yes.
Well, let's go one step further than that. I was talking to a couple of residents who I'm not going to name since they're not here. Well, what's the possibility of even bringing in some sort of, not even really like a Jewett City police force, not bringing the police force back, but maybe a constable program, somebody that, it'll give visibility downtown. So with, we all know there's a drug issue down here.
Well, there is.
There's no questioning that at all. We all know that.
Yep.
But somebody that would be downtown or around that would actually be visible, that maybe will deter some of that activity.
Right. And so to answer your question, there's a couple options. Okay, a couple of the options are when you have a conversation about resident trooper program, and for the record, the resident trooper program across the state. If you read the Knowledge Bulletin article today, if you read the resident trooper, or you read the article in the Knowledge Bulletin today about the resident trooper program, the governor's latest plan. And by the way, I'm going to get into the governor's budget too in a minute. But the governor's plan going forward with the resident trooper program is really going to be taxing those communities with 100% of the fringe benefit conversation. And so when you put that into your budgets, it really becomes very costly. And I think what Mike's referring to is, how do you look at other resources? Statutorily, we could look at expanding or putting a community police department together. It comes with a major cost. Constable police work, like in Montville or some other small communities that's existing, it would be a conversation I'd like to have to find out what the cost would be. There's other options too. Under state statute, municipalities or full police forces, such as a Norwich or a Plainfield, could expand into service areas outside of their own towns. And so that conversation is important as well. And I don't want to sit here and say that one of these is the exact vision for the community, because it's not my opinion, it's the opinion of the community. But I think, Phil, you and your crew should really get this on your agenda, and I think what you should be doing is discussing this and doing some outreach with the people to see what people want, because it's important for us to know. We can't plan if we don't get the people's feedback.
Correct, and and it has been on the agenda for the Public Health and Safety Committee. We have talked about it. So hopefully we'll get a plan in motion soon, but there is a lot of residents out there that have asked about police coverage, and I think everybody needs to realize that it all comes with a price tag.
It comes with a cost, right? All right. Well, that being said, I think I've given Phil way more airtime than he deserves. This is my show, and enough about Phil. Okay.
And he says he's not a politician.
Yeah.
All kidding. Phil, you know what? You're doing a great job today. I think you might want to sign him up for his own show.
Actually, we talked about it. We talked about it a little bit, and I'll tell you what happened. Is 3-4 nights ago? I don't know. Last week.
Yeah. 2 in the morning.
Last year.
2 in the morning.
That creeps me out. You guys talking at 2 in the morning creeps me out. I'm telling you. Sleep.
No, we don't have time. Kevin, we've got business to conduct.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We can't sleep 14 hours a day like the first selectman for crying out loud.
Yeah. And insomnia is a wonderful thing.
At least you have the Secret Service that comes and wakes you up if you oversleep.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Me, Mrs. Schoolcheck. Yeah, that's what we have.
The Secret
It's
Service.
my daughter, 15 years old. The Secret Service. Get up and drive me to school.
Well, we were talking, about 2 o'clock in the morning. It's either him or Bert from Sorrells, and which was funny because you know what Bert told me the other day?
Yummy.
So he said that you were actually in the restaurant, and him and I were just talking. Him and I talked right after you were in his restaurant a few days ago.
Yeah, I'm at Sorrells all the time.
And I told him that there was no way that I was going to be able to sleep tonight because I said I didn't know whose night it was. Is it Phil's night to talk to me online, or is it Bert's night to talk to me online? And then you said to me,
it was Bert's night off, and maybe he's home getting some loving. That's why he's not talking to you.
Oh, that's right. And I said, how dare he, for crying out loud? Which
for the G rating, loving means some good home cooked meal. And this is G rated.
Nice handshake, slap on the shoulder, that kind of thing. Did you see him flinch?
Did
you see him flinch?
So.
It's all those years in the penitentiary
in the big house.
as an employee.
Well, could have went either way.
So, Mr. Flowers, do you have anybody pegged or anybody you would like? Now, I'm not looking for any kind of plug or anything like that, but who do you? There must be more to this from going from 3 to 5 on the selectmen. I know I'm regressing, but is there somebody or people that you personally want to see fill those additional 2 selectmen spots if they become available?
I got to tell you, I do have somebody in mind. I kind of dropped the hint to his wife about it. I like Dan Webster myself. I think he does a wonderful job on the Board of Finance. I think he's an intelligent man. He brings a lot to the table. He's open-minded. He's also opinionated. He's going to tell you exactly how he feels and why he thinks it would work or wouldn't work. And I think if Mr. Wester's listening today, or is, I hate to put it out there, but I've nominated you now.
Now all we need are seconds and thirds, right?
I'll second it. Let's go. We're good.
The only thing I'm going to second and third right now is this ham sandwich.
Yeah.
Number 3.
I think Phil brings up a good point. There's so many great people that probably would fit this new position if expanded, especially those that have been volunteering on the boards and commissions. And a volunteer position, by the way, just for the record, it is so important because you do it for a commitment to the community. And I don't think that most people, really understand, such as the Board of Education. There are so many subcommittees in the Board of Ed that these members go to. There's so many hours upon hours upon hours, not only with their budget, but just the topics that they cover. The Board of Finance the same way. They put so much time and effort into making sure the town's finances are in order. And so, Dan is a great candidate, and if Dan pursues it, I will embrace him with open arms personally myself, because as Phil said, he's a very intelligent man who speaks confidently and straight. He's a straight talker. And straight talking, once and for all, not only local politics, state politics, and national politics. We need to take the slick willies out of the equation and get some people in, just average, everyday people that want to see real change. And Dan's the kind of guy that can bring that.
And that's the other thing that people need to understand, too, is that the extra selectmen, I'm going to be going to the Board of Finance, and I'm going to try and get it so that this doesn't come to at a cost to the taxpayers. I'm going to try and get the Board of Finance to make it so that the second and the third selectmen are a volunteer position, just like the other boards and commissions that we have. The Board of Finance is a panel of 7 people. They put in a lot of hours, a lot of time, and a lot of work. And they're all volunteers. these other boards don't get paid. Our first selectman is a full-time position, and that should be a paid position because whoever our first selectman is running our town.
Yeah, it's a good point. And I came in with a commitment upon the last campaign, and my commitment was to serve the community. I feel proud at the fact that I can give back some of my salary, as well as some of the other give-backs we've done. I think those give-backs are helping finance some certain projects in town, and I think that's important. I don't expect for my whoever my replacement will be someday should be paid adequately for a full-time position. It is important that you keep this position funded correctly and keep it moving forward. Now, that being said, to the point of volunteering, I still think volunteering, and I hold myself accountable for volunteering in the community. I think, the fact that I was the vice president of Jewett City Little League and all those other volunteer obligations, I've been honored to be able to serve, and I think that's what you get out of those people. So Phil, as you go forward with your plight as far as getting rid of the salaries or not, I can understand what you're after. I think it's financially correct. I can also understand that the amount of responsibility, really, if being done correctly, I can understand some small stipend payment or payment to the Board of Selectmen. So I think it's a conversation worth having.
I do too, and I can tell you, I'm just starting to get into this and look around. There's a lot of our surrounding towns that only the first selectman is paid, not the second, third, fourth, or fifth. And I think that needs to be taken into consideration. Is not necessarily that Griswold has to follow suit with other towns, but why are other towns a volunteer base and we're not?
Good questions, good stuff, and I think this whole conversation today here on Wolverine Radio, 1690 AM. I don't know the call. What are the letters you do? WJ whatever? What do you say?
WJGP.
Yeah, I won't do that. You do that.
Do you even know what that means?
No, I don't care.
Oh my goodness.
No, what does it mean, Mike? I'm sorry.
WJGP. Griswold, Jewett City, Plainfield.
Yeah, that's great. Anyway, so and on mygriswold.com, right? Streaming live. Come listen to us, and I think you guys are going to find out in this community that this radio station is going to be a key pivotal point to the turnaround of our economic development here. I can tell you that this is going to be huge for our community because we're talking about local issues. We're talking about some things that are really changing the landscape of the community. But most importantly, people are hearing live from residents, and I think that's a cool thing that you're doing, Mike. And I applaud you. And I want you to keep moving forward with this. We got to get you bigger and faster and better, like the $6 Million Man.
Who doesn't want a radio town or a radio show in their town? I mean, this is fantastic, and the fact that we're doing this at one of our community diners at Dean's Corner is great.
Just so everybody knows, if I tell everybody that this show is going to be on at 10 o'clock on Friday, tune in at 10:45. It'll be around then, because obviously I can't get things on at the right time.
Is that really serious? Is that serious?
No.
I will body slam you right now. I will physically.
Well, I think maybe it's because he's got a 45-minute travel.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I've got a heck of a commute to get here, you guys. You don't have any idea.
800 feet.
I was going to say, is it 500 feet or so?
Unbelievable.
Well,
that
keep
snowbank,
the sidewalks clear.
Just right in that snowbank to the left. Kevin's got some issues that he wants to discuss, I think, on a statewide level. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're talking about the budget and some of the stuff going on there. So.
And we'll be back with that right here at 1690 WJGP AM 1690 Wolverine Radio, streaming on mygriswold.com and also on the TuneIn app for your BlackBerry, Android, tablet,
smart thing.
Any smartphone, you can get the even your smart TV.
Smart thing.
We'll be back in just a couple of minutes on Wolverine Radio.